Alchemy, and I'm here to bring you the message of the Divine Masculine for his beloved for the week of April the 16th to the 22nd. Okay, before we get to the main reading, I'd like to inform you that the Akashic Record Reading Contest is now closed. I've already picked winners. I did say I would pick two, and I'm just waiting to hear on them as regards their questions and their details. So if you haven't received an email from me, then better luck next time. I'd like to thank all of you for sharing your stories and putting your name in the hat, so to speak. And if I do have extra time, it's very rare that I do, because for those who are new to my channel or who have just found me accidentally on YouTube, I do have full-time work, and I'm doing this as part of my mission. And but if I do have extra time, I will pick some more winners, okay? People that I would like to give free readings to, because there was a lot. I did make a short list of those I was called, but it's just it's a matter of really balancing my obligations also and my time. Okay, so anyway, congratulations to the winners, and thank you to all those who joined. Okay, is there anything else? Okay, anyway, yeah, that's about it. I had to make that announcement because usually a lot of people don't watch the Twin Flame Weekly, but they do watch the message to the Divine Masculine, so I have to repeat the information. So let's get on with the reading. Okay, first card we have at the bottom of the deck, which would be the general energies of the Divine Masculine, and usually this would be his message. We have here the Emperor card, and the Emperor card signifies that he's in the energy of getting things together, fixing things, making sure that things are in place so that his new life in the new earth, he's getting ready to make that shift if he hasn't made it yet. Okay? And here we have the Magician. And the Magician here signifies that, look, he's got everything ready already. Okay? All the suits, the wands, the swords, the cups, but you see here, and the pentacles there. And all he has to do really is to get them going in some sort of synchronicity. It's like this synergy of making everything work for him. This would pertain to his abilities, because this also pertains to his creativity, making them all work together. And look at this. In this card, can you see those shadows? They kind of look like our intergalactic friends and companions, like the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Lyrans. And for those who haven't read the About Me section in my website, yes, I am of Lyran descent. Okay, so anyway, here, bringing in their energy to support the Divine Masculine in his attempt to make use of the abilities, the talents, the skills that he has. To what end? To fix things. You know, because a lot of the Divine Masculines, the energy they have is they want to be with their divine feminines. Their higher self wants this union so much, but they don't know how to do it given the circumstances that they find themselves in 3D. Whether that be because, you know, they've stayed so long with a karmic, they're used to the situation that they're in, or many other things. But here, he's being given assistance. And this is interplanetary, intergalactic assistance in the form of energies. Of course, don't expect E.T. to suddenly show up at your Divine Masculine's house in a basket with a blanket. Okay? It doesn't work that way. It's the energies. You feel them. And look at this. Here we have the Ten of Pentacles. But in this particular deck, which I was guided to use for this message, and again, for those who have just joined my channel, usually Spirit guides me on what deck to use, whether that's in the weekly readings or for personal readings for those who get readings with me, because each deck has its own set of messages accompanying it. And in this particular one, the Ten of Pentacles here, this signifies this strategy. You see here, they're involved in a game of chess. And this game of chess right now is being supported by this woman that seems forlorn and very sad. She's hunched over. But above her, which means she has risen above this state of just bemoaning things, of, you know, this would be the victim energy, the victim mentality of not being able to control your destiny, not being able to change things. But look, both the divine feminine and the divine masculine are now sort of on a level playing field. And what the divine masculine is doing right now, because these would be his energies, look, he's involved in strategizing, fixing things, making sure that his next move is a smart move, and that he's also looking several steps ahead. Remember, he's come from a place when he thought he couldn't move at all, and that was very difficult for him. So now he's calculating his moves with a deliberate cautiousness, and also a deliberate consciousness of why he's making these moves and to what end. Okay, and I just said to what end, and this is the end that I was referring to. Here we have the Judgment card, and this is not only the divine masculine's personal awakening in the ascension journey, but also the revival of his relationship with the person that he is now trying to relate to on a level playing field. Okay, he could not do this before. Well, actually, there are some divine masculines that are still trapped in this energy of being the victim, not being able to do not anything, being paralyzed, immobilized by their situations because they can't see beyond their 3D circumstances. But there are other divine masculines that sort of have been promoted, okay, and are now relating to their divine feminines on sort of an equal stance, as an equal. Okay, not anymore lagging behind. Remember, there's before, if we would track the journey, it would seem as if the divine masculine always a few steps behind, divine feminine leading the way. But there are some, because they have handled and dealt with their own awakening and their own epiphanies into being not only a participant but an active co-creator of the new earth. They're on a level playing field now with their divine feminines, and that's what's bringing this rebirth, this resurrection here with the Ace of Swords energy. And this is the truth reigning. Okay, this is it's sort of the underlying foundation of the new earth. Okay, wherein people will relate to each other on the basis of from the heart center and the thymus, which is really the love of truth. And that's something that you get when you do the RASHEEBA healings. You activate the center of truth. That's why your inner compass is very, very stable when it comes to the truth. Your integrity is intact. It's not easily swayed by all these considerations based out of ego that are put in front of you, because you know your truth. Okay, so that is where the Divine Masculine is at right now. And as for his message, let me open all the cards first. First, we have the Queen of Swords. Then we have the Six of Pentacles. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. Then we have the Eight of Wands. Then we have the King of Cups, the Ace of Wands, and the Knight of Pentacles. So look, this is a message in two parts, but I'm going to read it as one, okay? First of all, he's addressing his beloved. The Queen of Swords here represents the divine feminine, and you can see she's a queen that has fought her battles. She's on top of things, but look at this. There are tears in her eyes. Her sword is bloodied, and she's had to go through bloody hell on earth. That's what I mean. To get to where she is, she's still standing, and the divine masculine recognizes that. Okay, and look at this. He knows what he's saying is that he knows that for the longest time, because she has led the way, she has been giving and assisting the divine masculine in giving him a leg up until he got to the point of this. Remember here, so he recognizes the efforts of the divine feminine in giving him this leg up when he was still in this position of being the supplicant, okay? Until right now, some of the divine masculines, or most, have really broken through that barrier, okay? Broken through that barrier of their self-imposed limitations, but usually those limitations they've placed upon themselves, it's really based on the belief that 3D is all there is. Okay? But a lot of the divine masculines have broken through that barrier. And here, the divine masculine recognizing the role that the divine feminine has played in his breakthrough, and the role that the divine feminine played in assisting him and the cost that the divine feminine incurred, or the pain that she has gone through in fighting these battles for the both of them. Okay, and here divine masculine also saying that, look at this, here we have the Wheel of Fortune, and he's saying that, look, he recognizes that the divine feminines, some of them are still uncertain how this is all going to turn out. Look at this, the Wheel of Fortune here is represented by a relay. Okay, it's like one of those Japanese game shows that you don't know what you're going to get. If you're going to get a good thing, a broken heart, a skull, just a hand there. So, and here we have the devil here, which represents that this is how it's going to turn out in 3D, because the devil here represents worldly matters. So, divine masculine telling his beloved that, look, I recognize that you are quite uncertain about the outcome at this point. However, in the same breath, with the recognition, I said this was a reading in two parts. This is his recognition of where the divine feminine is at, her efforts, okay, and what she's feeling right now, this uncertainty. But he's telling her, look, this is the Eight of Wands here, and this is urgency. This peasant woman is really cutting down the wands in her field, and here the eighth wand is the one that she's holding, and this implies there is a sense of urgency. There are messages also forthcoming regarding that urgency, so don't be surprised if your divine masculine shows up even after a lot of time being quiet, being silent, not hearing from him, and just suddenly turning up as if, you just spoke to him yesterday, and that there hasn't been an amount of time that has gone by. It's like picking up from where you left off. But that's what he's saying. That's the message that he's giving, that there is a certain sense of urgency now as regards this King of Cups energy. And if, like I said earlier, I do recognize that a lot of people just watch the Divine Masculine readings. Do try to watch a Twin Flame weekly reading, because you can see that, look, no matter what decks I use, if it's the same card, it is the same message. Whatever deck I use, it's the same card. And look at this sense of urgency with the King of Cups card. And the King of Cups card is the overlighting energy that is building this new earth and, locking it firmly into place. Really sort of, what they're showing me, it's like an overlap. Okay, it's like this image overlapping and really taking over the old earth. Okay, so this is the overlighting energy now, which is that unconditional, the Christ consciousness, the Christ-centered energy. So there is an urgency here to bring this forward, and the Divine Masculine recognizes his role in doing that. Okay, his role with his divine counterpart, in that he's going to play in establishing this new earth that is based on the foundations of this energy. So here now, he's saying that, he knows that he has to make double time, okay, because this has to be created. Look, this is the Ace of Wands, and here we see this woman, and she's carrying this baby in a pod. Okay, that would be the third energy. That is the result of all this creativity, the fertility. You can see here there are trees growing out of her head, and she's carrying this baby here. And that's what they're supposed to create together. And there's an urgency of working together with his beloved counterpart, his divine counterpart, in order to do that. So in the same breath that he's saying sort of not to worry because he's doing double time, he's still saying that he's doing it very meticulously and very methodically. That's what the Knight of Pentacles represents. But you can see here in this image of the Knight of Pentacles, the Knight is fully automated. Okay, so in order to have this sort of armor that propels him to move forward, it's twofold. Okay, you need the armor here. The Divine Masculine needs this armor in order to protect himself as he moves forward. Okay, because there may be others that want to interfere, whether they be dark energies, negativity, or just people in his 3D life that want to keep the status quo because they have an interest in the status quo. Whether they be karmics, whether the people that depend on him, that don't want him to go off and seek his own destiny elsewhere, those would be it. And that's why it's like he's fashioned himself, okay? And you can see here that the Magician card plays into it. Like I said, he is harnessing his creativity in how to best use his resources right now, and doing that with strategy involved. Okay, and that's why here he's saying that while he recognizes this urgency, he's doing it in the slow but sure way, in the sense that it's not careless. Okay, there is some wisdom in the saying that haste makes waste. So that his efforts right now are calculated and very deliberate. And from the outside, sometimes some of the divine feminines may not even be able to perceive this movement if you are merely looking at it from the lens of 3D. But there is movement, there is improvement, and the divine masculine is confirming that. But he has to be careful. He has been hurt before by being very impulsive, impetuous, and just following his ego. He knows better now. There's his smarts have been tempered by wisdom, and not only by wisdom, but with divine foresight. And look at this, because of this card, okay, this King of Cups, he's very intuitive. He reigns over his kingdom very intuitively. So he knows what to do. But just like the story that I relayed to you, the anecdote that I relayed to you in the twin flame, like my divine masculine friend who wasn't quite familiar with the jargon of being a twin flame or a light worker, a star seed. And you know, the thing with the divine masculines is if you put the word spirituality there, they immediately think they have to be a priest or they have to sit under a tree like Buddha. And that kind of that doesn't immediately resonate with them. Well, that doesn't, it's not exclusive to the divine masculines, but anybody who is still in the stupor, who is still really unawakened yet. You talk about spirituality without religion, because a lot of people have been brought up with, you know, in some kind of religion or another. Okay, but when you talk about spirituality, and they're not really that open-minded. They balk at it. Okay, so they need some time getting used to. It's like a mix and match. Right now, this is their experience. This is what they're feeling, and now they have to sort of translate it into what it was, because they just experience it. They just sense it, but they don't know what their experience is. It's very hard to explain. But let's say words, you're trying to learn another language, and of course, you're going to fumble at times. Let's say a pyramid, and if in the other language it's called something else, if you mistake it for some other word, let's say, I don't know, what do I have here? A laptop, okay? You would think that this would be the laptop. So that's the disconnect right now when it comes to the experience, the intuitive, the intuition of the divine masculines, and how they're going to translate that into something that they're familiar with in 3D, because how will they call it what it is when they don't know what it's called? See, that is the dilemma a lot of them are having. So anyway, so there is a break-in period for the divine masculine. So that's just what Spirit just told me right now, because this is like a car, like a machine, and they have a break-in period, and that's why they're testing out all the things that they have been given, giving it a dry run and all that, and making sure everything works. But he knows he has to move forward. He knows this is at the center of the spread. He knows there is an urgency involved, and he wants his divine feminine to know that he is going double time as fast as he can. And you know, as with new cars, when you're still breaking them in, even if you want to go 100 miles per hour, you can't, because you're going to ruin the engine. You have to break it in first. And that's what's going on with the divine masculine. It's that great break-in period so that they can soar afterwards. Okay? And do the double time that's being asked of them. So that's what I have for you, everyone, and I hope this helped. I did notice that there is a Facebook cover video feature, and I did try my hand at that, so I'm putting that as the credits. Take care, everyone. Bye.